Hey guys, welcome to Michelle's Opinions, spontaneous live. Tonight, or today, or afternoon, wherever you are located on this grand earth that we all reside, I'm going to talk about truth. And this also has to do with the narrow path that we are all walking on and why it's called a narrow path. You know, I posted an earlier video on the narrow path and why it's so unique to each and every single one of us, and divinely appointed, just to show you how amazing and unique that you are, that you're met where you're at. You've watched my previous videos. I often talk about that you're met where you're at and then you're brought along. What has really been exciting for me is to see Christians actually being set free. And, the truth actually is in the Bible when you have the eyes to see it. Let me get it so it's showing the live stream. You guys, or I can see it on my homepage. Just bear with me 1 second, please. There we go. Oh, my quantum affected life. How are you? Right now, you're looking at a 20-second clip that I took of my skies in the backyard. I was bopping around on a stream last night, and normally on that show, it's a wonderful show. It is just a wonderful show. As a whole, it is. It's very loving, compassionate, patience with one another. All of those good qualities are shown there. But last night was a little bit of an oddity. It was an anomaly that, the chat stream felt it. But, and it kind of goes along with, we're all on this unique and divine journey of awakening. But I have to say, as unique and divine and special each and every one of us, our journey is, our path is that we're walking out, the destination is the same. See, it depends on what kind of things we've got in our head that are tripping us up or holding us back, things that we need to overcome. I interviewed Anna, and she talked about how conviction overcame her. Well, when you're speaking in dark sentences, especially when you're broadcasting it out to many people or a wide platform, the conviction will come upon you even harder, because once you realize the truth and the abilities that you have within you and the abilities that other people have within them, then the things that you say to try to convince another of your way of thinking, especially when it's something dark and unhealthy for other people, well, then the conviction, where I did that video called White Throne Judgment, that part will come down on you even harder, because you're your own judge and you will convict yourself for trying to convince others of any falsehoods that you put out into the world. I'm not telling you guys this, I'm not just, pulling this information out of the air. I'm telling you from experience. And I waited a long time before speaking up. If you watch the video I posted earlier, a few hours ago actually, called Narrow Path, I talk about why Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. If you stop anywhere along the journey and look back, you could get stuck there or prolong your movement forward. And it could take you much longer to get down or get past or get rid of those filters that you have in your head. So that's why, as we're going through this transition, until we get a good understanding, we really should just listen, and pay attention to what's going on around us and seek for answers inwardly and go through the transition, removing the filters. The thing that has made me so happy is seeing that Christians are being set free. Now, I'm not saying that that's impossible, but a lot of the doctrines that are in Christianity are very hindering, makes it so taboo for you to even think outside the box. I tell you, my friends, I'm not in that box, but I did hold on to Christ because his teachings are not what we think they are. So I'm not going to tell you not to follow Christ. I did a video on asking people if they think I'm a Christian or not. Am I a brick and mortar Christian? No, I'm not. This understanding doesn't fit in any of those houses of worship at this time. I'm hoping that soon this becomes common knowledge, as I see so many people rising to the occasion and having the truth reside within them. So, what is the truth? What is my truth? My truth is as a man thinketh, so shall he be. So if you think you're going to have those yucky things in your sky and they're going to cause you problems, then okay. If you have somebody that's going to convince you of that, and then if you dispute it and say, no, I'm not going to agree with that, and they call you nasty names and try to shame you, that's old paradigm thinking, guys. We're coming out of that. We're coming out of that strong delusion, and we're being freed up. Our minds are being freed up. We are alive. I have to tell you, my friends, we are not only five sense beings. We have five senses, yes, and that is to experience. But we are born with this sixth sense. We're not taught about it in school. I think about that show Harry Potter, going to Hogwarts, okay? That should be the norm. We should be taught about the abilities that we have and the effects that we have on one another. This place would change overnight. This place is changing overnight as people are becoming more aware of the sixth sense that is within them, the gifts being stirred up. Now, where I will differ, in my opinion, from the Bible is where it says to one is given one gift and to another is another gift and yada, yada, yada. I tell you that all gifts are within each and every one of us. Now, we may have a passion for one gift or another, and our heart will go after that. And that will be the first gift that we learn to utilize and implement into our life. But every gift is available to each and every single one of us. And even if we are considered asleep, we're still operating in those gifts, but we're buffering one another. That's why I've been talking to you guys about when you go to sleep at night, create the perfect world. Imagine it in your mind. Also, the small thing that's just between you and yourself. Share it with nobody. So nobody can buffer you. We're told to test all things. We've been doing tests in our group forum called Flame. A very good friend of mine, Mel, who you've met several times, and I actually did perform a test on chemtrails. Now, using the scientific method, which would mean that no matter where the test was done, it would have the same results. She's in the UK, I'm in the US. We both did the similar test. We both had the same results. Therefore, scientific method was used and was confirmed. I recommend when you remove the doubt from your mind, You do the same test that we did and prove it to yourself using scientific method. Oh, Mel, hi. I was just talking about you. So, and we do, we want proof. We're why people. And we are told to test all things. So, and that the scientific method would mean that it's consecutive. No matter where it's done, you get the same results. We got the same results. And it was an amazing understanding. Earlier today, I went swimming, and my little brindle pit, well, little, he's not little, he's very, very strong. He likes to get in the water with me. He nudged up, and I was laying on I have like a play pad where I can kind of lay out in the water. It's very nice. And he scooched up to me, but normally I stand up to help him in. I didn't stand up. And when he came in, he nudged up to the edge and he went in and his head went underwater and he was disoriented. And I got scratched pretty bad. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see them or not. This was actually the worst one. It's almost gone. And then I got gouged here on my leg and up on my thigh. He's a big boy. But I was more worried about him being so scared. I do not want him to fear the water. And so I got him up and I was holding him and his heart calmed down and he shook his little head and shook it off and he was okay. And then my husband came over and had to help me get out because of, I got gouged up pretty good by him, but he didn't know what he was doing. So he stayed in the water for a little bit because he likes it. And I came in, dried off, got dressed, and I came on and I chatted with a friend of mine. And as I chatted with her, I literally watched these scratches, these deep gouges, cuts disappear right before my eyes. I even went out and showed my husband because he saw him, he had to help me out. He couldn't believe it either. So guys, we're testing things right now. It is happening. I'm going to share another story. I was going to go get a chicken Caesar salad. That was what I was intending on doing. So I was heading to the store to get the stuff for the chicken Caesar salad. On my way, for some reason, I changed my mind and decided I would go to McDonald's and get their chicken salad. I went in there. The manager was super duper busy. It was, the 5 o'clock shift had not come in yet. And he actually took the time, even though he was trying to expedite, run the front counter, sort the orders up front, and get drive-through going, because you have one lady running the drive-through. He was sacking orders, front counter, booths, and he took her food out to her table. So we went over and above his call of duty there. She asked him to bring something back. Well, I had already ordered. I was standing off to the side, just observing. As he comes running back, knowing that was going to put him even more behind. I met him at the counter and said, hand me what it is that she needs. I'll gladly take it over. The man looked shocked. I took it over to her. It was no big deal to me. I was just standing there waiting anyways. He sacks up my order and he's like holding it hostage. He's like, I want to give you a pie. Would you like a pie? And I said, no, it's no big deal, And he was so happy. Well, today I went and got Popeye's chicken. We haven't ever tried it. And my husband's out building his shed and we are swimming in the pool and just having a relaxing day. So I went through the drive-thru. They had me waiting out front. Well, they decided that they made me wait a little too long, which they really didn't. And guess what? There was 2 free pies inside the bag. And she told me that when she handed it to me. She said, because you waited a little long, I went ahead and threw in 2 free pies. So the universe apparently wanted me to get those free pies. So now I have received them. It's just amazing how things seem to work out, just for having gratitude and showing kindness to other people without wanting anything in return. It's a beautiful thing. Now, let's talk about truth. What truth are we all led to? We go through this journey, the path of heart, the steps, that narrow path that we are all going through. And I have to tell you, it doesn't matter where your path starts. We all go to the same place. We all get the same truth. We all get the same understanding. Our sixth sense that has been with us our entire lives is being finally attuned. You can hear better by hearing frequencies and ringing in your ears. I can hear up to 3 tones at a time. Your sense of smell is heightened. You can tell when somebody doesn't feel good. Your sight, you're able to see auras around people. You're able to see their glowing. And you can tell what kind of a mood somebody's in by their very aura. We're able, through the emotion, through our heart, to feel energy and link up with one another, to either know if if something's going on wrong and what we need to do to try to make that situation better, or if everything is, they're just light and happy and we can absorb and flow in that energy. And sense of touch. A lot of people are having lucid or vivid dreams. You can actually feel sensation in your dreams. Become aware you're dreaming. I say when you get to the point where you're aware you're dreaming, try to raise yourself up. Fly, glide, go through a wall, hop through a window. It's an amazing thing, guys. But that would be a heightened sense of our physical, our senses. So it seems like the truth that is in us, the kingdom of heaven within us, the chakra system, doesn't seem to matter what people call it. It is springing up into us, and we are activating different things at different times and attuning. And as we attune these things, we learn how to apply them into our daily life. Just like the experiment that we did with the sky. Same thing, but with all of the gifts. Don't think that just because you have a passion for one that you're only going to have that one gift. That's old paradigm thinking. You have all things. Everything is available to you. It's just a matter of getting there. Overcoming doctrines that have been, put into you since birth, that boot that's on your neck, that conformity that we've all been led, that we have to conform and listen to all these other people. And I got to tell you, my friends, when this first starts happening, the outside world is the broad way to destruction. You're listening to all the other louder voices instead of seeking within. Go to a quiet space until you get your house in order. Get yourself on that solid foundation. And then the truth, it can just radiate through you, out, around you. You can be a light and shine so bright in a room. And it's a beautiful thing. I have so many good friends to thank because the testimonies that I hear from each of them, from different cultures, different countries, different walks of life. Now, some of them still have doubt. We're all in transition, guys. And that's why we don't judge. We use discernment. Using discernment is following that gut instinct that we've always had, even in 3D. But in 5D, New Earth, it is so enhanced that you can see what is even on their mind, and you know who to partake with and who to separate with. And I'm telling you guys, even if you have to separate from somebody for a while, it's only for a temporary amount of time until they start to raise up. We are quantumly entangled into the one. Remember, even the Bible says that God gave us the very breath of life, shared himself with us, which animates our very being. So, and Christ said that he's in the Father, and if we're in him, we're in the Father, and they are one, so the three are one, and just think about that for a while. That's a very simplistic way of saying that we are all one. So anything that is in some people call it Akashic Records, some people call it Source, some people call it Gaia. It doesn't seem to matter what the terminology is. We learn how to gain access to whatever the wisdom or knowledge it is that is stored in that massive expansion from experience from 7 billion different people. I know there's people going through suffering and hard times. Been there myself. I have to say, but it was through the suffering and the lack that I'm able to have more gratitude and appreciation for what I am being blessed with. I want to change the background and show you guys something beautiful that I pulled up. Let's see if this is it. That's it. Yes. Hold on just a second. See if I can defractal my hair a little bit. Okay, let's get back into the chat. What do you guys think of that? When I think about the new earth, that's one of the things that we're working on is the new earth. Lay down when you're going to sleep, just imagine a paradise earth. It can be anything because it's your paradise. You're unique. Each of us, have different things that we consider paradise. So if you're thinking on those things, realize that you actually are then focusing and creating it. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see. Anybody got any questions in the chat? Anybody want to say hello? I've got my Quantum Affected Life, Mel. There's 9 people in there. Say hi, guys. And you know who's out there. Did anybody watch the narrow path and kind of get the gist of what I meant by that and why it's narrow? Because you're the only one on it. It's uniquely designed, divinely designed just for you. And I have to say, my friends, that the Christian doctrine is very hard to overcome. It is something that could take people years to come out from underneath of. Speaking from my own, it takes a while, and when you talk to other people about things, they'll say you're possessed or this or that because they don't understand. Yes, our paths are unique. Yes, they are. So, and I have to say, though, Christians can pull through if they truly believe in Christ and follow Christ. Seek him with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. You will find him. Keep knocking, keep seeking, and the Christ will blossom in you. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We're promised, even in the Bible, for a millennial reign of Christ. What did we think that was going to be like? I feel blessed to have lived on both paradigms, coming out of Pisces and into Aquarius. But I have to say, I've been set free of the, Sadducees and Pharisees. Though that type of stuff, it's not going to harm me anymore because been there, done that. I understand it completely. I understand it. And I understand the difficulty that people go through to try to come out of that. Hey, Captain. Hey, Glowing. But yeah, I mean, it is one of the, I think any kind of a religious dogma is a very difficult thing for people to overcome. And I think that's why we are so, blah, blah. We are told to show patience, enduring with one another, until they do get this very understanding within them. Yes. Also, guys, I have Amber from Amber's Place coming on tomorrow to do an interview. Amazing stuff. You guys are in for a really good treat. Pretty excited about it. And as interviews are booked, you can find them under My Divine Family on my homepage. Now, if somebody has to cancel or reschedule, and they haven't firmed up a new time yet, I do take them down. And then when they reestablish their time, they will be put back up. And as new interviews come in, the older interviews will come off of that list as the newer ones come in to make it easier for people to be able to find the recent interviews to their, to their channels if they have channels. Because just because you may not resonate with me and my message, there's other people that you may resonate with that, can help you to grow along with your journey. Now, one thing I will tell you is all the answers are within yourself, but it is always nice to hear from somebody else that's going through or been through the same things that you're going through. Even if they're not exactly the same, it doesn't matter. It just gives you, some peace in your heart to know that somebody else is going through this with you and that you're not alone. So we got 8 people in the room. We got Captain. Hey, Captain. Hey, Glowing. Hey, Mel. Hey, Quantum. So we've got 4 lurkers. four quiet ones. Sorry for being a little late, you guys. My husband went to go pick up lumber, so I had to wait till I could put the dogs out. So, green screen a little better. I'm no longer trying to worry about the corner thing. It's just flat, and so that trying to get rid of the fractals. It will get better once he gets the shed built, and I actually have a permanent studio where I don't have to keep putting it back together each time. Does anybody have any questions about the narrow path, the truth that we come to, or anything, or the truth that I have discovered and what I'm finding, through the testimonies of others? It is, the truth is being verified and verified and verified again with scientific method. Because listening to other people's testimonies, like you said, if the same thing can be proven and done over and over again, no matter where at in the world, what the conditions, that's the scientific method. And that makes it scientifically provable. So, and I know we did on our skies, and actually there's 3 participants that I know of for sure that have testified on the sky. And all 3 have done tests, and all 3 had success. And it had to do with removing doubt, understanding who and what you are, having that 6th sense rise up in you, and removing the filters, removing the doubt, and just allowing it to be. It's no, Mel. Once you get to the truth of who and what you are, again, we're not going to be automatons. No. We will all be activated and operating with those capabilities. But our heart's passion will be the things that we thrive in. So, yeah. I'm hoping that I'm answering that right. If you're asking if everyone's going to heaven or if everybody's going to hell, I'd have to say no, because that that is old paradigm thinking. We're in this together. We're gonna go through this hand in hand. Um, and one of the things that I've also noticed is as people pop out and they become aware, even if they still have the glasses on a little dark, but they are, heading towards the, full understanding and getting that new foundation, is the new heart. You get a renewing of your mind and you get a new heart. So you would not want to harm another person. A lot of people go and don't even want to hurt a critter or an animal. They won't even eat meat anymore. So that's how much their heart has expanded. So, when you think about law, and that, in the Bible, why couldn't Moses enter the promised land? Moses represents law. The law can't enter the promised land. We have to move past the judgment, and then we can enter into the promised land. But does that answer your question, Mel? You pretty much already knew the answer, though. She's left half, I'm right half. She's, we work in concert. I just love this picture. I really, really do. A heart-shaped earth with the promise, the rainbow. I have to say the rainbow being upside down still kind of messes with my mind a little bit, but it's okay. You're welcome, honey. Does anybody else have any questions? Does anybody have any questions on what my channel is about, or what I'm trying to present to people? My mission statement, so to speak. I know it takes a few seconds. I'm ahead with you guys a little bit. Let's see if I can pull up another picture while me. See if you guys have anything else. See what do you guys think of that? Well, it's not up yet. That's what my clouds look like. That's taken right out my backyard. And it's kind of funny because it looks like I'm standing on the rooftop shouting out the good news. One moment, please. Yeah, it looks like I'm shouting off the rooftop. You guys, the truth will set you free. I mean, my goodness, get your sixth sense that you are born with operating fully. Read auras on people. Use yours. When I didn't mention that to anybody, and I don't talk to. Now my husband knows about it because he tells me I have a sensitive sniffer. And then when I interviewed Glowing, when she talked about it, and you can smell when somebody's not feeling well. And what do we do? What do we do when we can actually smell illness on somebody? Now that we've got this new heart and this new mind, what I do is I picture them whole, completely healed and whole. I don't look at them as sick. And I try to not impose my will because I don't know if they have manifested that to learn a lesson. But nobody wants to be sick. And miracle healings, we call them miracle healings. I think that's going to be something that is just natural. What do you guys think? That, could the future still have to have hospitals? Let's think about this. From the experience I had with the deep cuts and lacerations from a pit bull with claws, getting into the pool, and he cut me up pretty good. and they are just literally disappearing in front of me, in front of my eyes, after taking a moment to talk to one of my friends who carries a lot of healing energy within her. As I was having a conversation, I was literally watching them disappear. Will we need hospitals anymore, guys? What do you think? That's right. I don't see them. And that was what was brought up on that show. And she was arguing that about them, and then starting to spout diseases off, and some doctor that said that there's diseases caused by them, and blah blah blah. And when people were saying, they don't see them anymore, she was calling names, and it was terrible. It was terrible. But it's really not the norm for that show. That show is really usually a lot of fun. It's a lot of humor, upbeat people. It was just, it was an oddity. It's totally out of the norm. I still, that channel is in my featured channels because it is a good channel. The people there are really good people. Hope not what now. The link giving. I think I did post it. I'm sorry. I put up an announcement several hours ago. You get them, Mel. That's right. There won't be a need for that because Captain says no hospitals, no police, no jails, no need. And I feel that we're going to come into a time where what we're going to start seeing happening is a gradual reduction of the need of laws. They'll start to gradually go away and dissipate. The police may go back to being called peace officers before they disappear. Hospitals and all that, those illnesses, it will be a thing of the past. We'll realize that they're not necessary. And when we're done here, we'll just graduate. I mean, it's just a process of moving forward. It's infinite. It's a constant moving forward. And we are dawning into this new age. For me, the first awakening part was in 2001. Started having the lucid dreams and stuff. But see, stuff happened to me as a child, though, too. There was a time I was probably about 4 years old, and my parents had just bought a new car. My mom had one of those yellow Vegas, okay, and it was like a bumpy ride, And then she got a Malibu. What are those? Like boat cars, not where it has the back area where you can lay down in color or whatever. Then it has the seats. Not minivan, but the other ones that were before minivans. Well, apparently I got into the car and I was coloring and I fell asleep. Well, I disappeared because they checked the car, they checked everywhere. Like I said, I was about 4, maybe 5 years old. And when I got up and walked up to the house, the police were there. My mom was panicking, and I'm like, what's going on? And she grabbed me and hugged me so tight. And the police searched the vehicle. My mom and dad searched the vehicle. I was not in that vehicle. And I tell you, my friends, I woke up in the back of the vehicle. I had my Crayolas, I had my coloring book, and I had just fallen asleep there. But they went and looked. They pulled up that back hatch. They searched it. I was not in it. Parents panicked, called the police. The police searched the vehicle. I was not in it. But then I woke up in it just fine, came bopping back in the house going, what's going on? Why are all these police officers here? So, we think about things that have happened in our life that we just kind of discount off and just put aside. But that's pretty out there, though, considering that they all searched that vehicle. And it was a new vehicle. Station wagon, that's what they're called, a station wagon. It was Malibu. It was a Malibu station wagon. And when we rode in it, I got super car sick because it was so smooth. I just remember, and we went on a vacation in it, and it was really, really nice. It was a real smooth ride. But I fell asleep back there with my crayons, and they could not find me. And then I woke up there, and I walked in, and there was cuts and stuff everywhere. Maybe you're changing, Michelle. Yeah. And I do think that. I think that we are changing. We're going, we're transitioning. And, the Mandela effect itself, talking about the body changes. Hey, mediation man. Nice to see you here. Seeing the Mandela effect, and everybody becoming more aware of that is showing that in our sight with our mind that we are opening our mind and allowing that sixth sense to be activated. Some people call it the Kundalini. Some people call it opening the chakras. Some people call it a Holy Spirit baptism. Some people call it a spiritual awakening. What I have found is that it doesn't matter what it's called, just follow it through. And I have to say, with just about everybody I've talked to, that it is the beginning of the journey, not the end. Where I was led to believe from the doctrines I was brought up with that once you had that Holy Spirit baptism, that was the end. You're good to go. No, my friends. There was so much dogma and filters in my mind that I had to get rid of because they were a nuisance. They were dark sentences. They were in error in my thinking. Malibu was synonymous with car sickness. In the early 80s, back windows weren't made to roll down. Yeah. And it was white. It was a white, oh my God, it just escaped me again. Those big boaty looking cars, where it has that back seat where the kids can lay down. Worse, now we have to all be seatbelts and locking our kids in these seats that are ridiculous. I used to love to lay in the back, like we got to pick our seats in the car. I always wanted to be in the back because if I wanted to lay down with my pillows or color in my coloring book, it was so much easier. Near-death experiences, I've had those too. A few accidents that I've been into, it makes you wonder about. I'm not even going to discount the people that think that they may have died and woke up here, because what is death, And also, my next question would be to those people that are awaiting the rapture. What if they already were raptured? What were they expecting it to be like on the other side if they were moved? I had the interview with Anna, and she talked about Nibiru coming by. And when Nibiru came by, she feels that some hopped on over there. And that's her way of understanding it that makes sense in her mind for her to be able to handle what's going on within her, these amazing transformations. Yeah, but they drove so smooth that I got car sick. So that's what my backyard looks like. That's what my skies look like. We'll go back to the beautiful earth. See, I got some other stuff loaded up in here for you guys. That's it for us. You see that. Oh, you see that one too. Oh, I've only got one media source. And you've seen that one too. Okay. Bear with me. We're just playing around here. Ooh, I like that one. I do like that one. There, we'll just leave on that one. That one's new. But I do like the intertwining hearts showing us quantumly, attached to each other, and with the white outer perimeters, shows us even more, even though they're distant, we're still all attached. You're gonna go to bed? Yeah. Yeah, well, it's late for you, hon, and you've got a show tomorrow. Amber is coming on tomorrow, and we're gonna have a really good time with that. So does anybody have any questions on, the perception, the deception and the perception, and, why the path is narrow, and what truth is it that we need to all come to? Let me see if I'm getting that right. Medication. Yeah. I think the effects equated to if or when Christ and the angels came closer. Come on, LOL. There has to be a residual, right? Yeah, I had a friend of mine tell me that when her ears ring and she hears the tones and stuff, that's what she feels is that angels are close to her. And you know what? That's a good thing to feel. That would stop the fear of your ears ringing. You'd stop worried about it, just knowing that a benevolent being is close to you, watching over you. Do I think there's angels? Yes. Do I think they could be called aliens now? Yeah. I don't put anything past anything. That's in scripture too. They were created before us. So why would we all of a sudden say that they don't exist? Right? What's your guys' thoughts on the aliens? You know, um, could that be what is referred to in the Bible as angels? I mean, and if so, why should we fear them? And why should it matter what they look like? It's not what is the outside casing that matters. If the avatar doesn't make a difference, it's what's in here that matters. Quantum leap, when you get down to the nuts and bolts, you can go to higher self, and then from higher self, quantumly entangled again and then when you go all the way back to the root, yes. I think, when I interviewed Mel, she was talking about entrainment, um, that there's something to that. There could be soul groupings, so to speak, that are attached to another higher being, and that could be, the ones that are connected to that higher being woke up, okay, and then the others will wake up in their season. So I do think that there is something to that going. And I do appreciate that there are cultures out there that nurture that third eye, that pineal gland, that sixth sense, and don't squash it out of their culture. They realize the value in it and, keep it active throughout their entire lives. Okay, Double O says, glowing, I see the truth in my reality now that I've connected to my higher self. Beautiful, Double O, beautiful. Thank you for coming over, my friend. I know you were live streaming, so thank you. And the truth is in your experience. That's exactly right, Double O. Everybody's experience. That's why I say it's a narrow path. My friend, you're the only one on it. You've got things that are going on within you that are going to slightly differ from somebody else. You could go through similar traumatic events in your life, but they can have a different effect on you. I did a video talking about the two women who were given the same diagnosis, but one reacted one way and the other reacted another way. So that's why everything is so unique and so divine. And anybody that tries to say there's only one way, they're limiting God, and God is limitless, limitless. So, and infinite. We're constantly expanding, we're constantly growing, and we're in this together. Yes, you see everything reflected in your own life as specifically to you. Each person's journey is different. What I've noticed is, and I say it often, what's going on in the micro in your heart when you get everything lined out manifests in the macro. So when you see beautiful skies surrounding you, then you got your house in order and you're more in tune with Gaia, Source, God Almighty, and you're walking in it. We're also told to live by faith and not by sight. So when you see confusing times and stuff go on, live by faith. Meditate on that new earth, that paradise that you're creating in your own mind. Think on things, higher things, not the things of low density or of those lower realm. I don't need to explain to this group what a lower realm thinking is. I think you all get it. But when you concentrate on things that are, beautiful to you, wonderful to you, if you love rock and roll music, and in your paradise world, you're going to have rock and roll music. Create it. There's nothing wrong, and it goes into the collective, and then it manifests out. Because what we're doing here, by this little simple exercise, is we are adding into the collective. We're quantumly entangled, but we're adding into the source, of these imaginations of these paradise worlds. And then it will trickle out into others because we're all quantumly entangled. And then it will start to manifest. It's a beautiful thing. I was talking to Mel earlier, and it says one will put 1,000 to flight, two will put 10,000 to flight. That means when you've got two people, speaking on the same things, creating the same things, the outcome is going to be 10,000, or that would be 10 times what it would be for just one person doing it. So that's why, Christ himself proclaimed these things they will do and more. How can you cast a mountain cast a mountain out of the way? Well, you've got maybe 5 people saying that mountain is out of place. It doesn't belong there. Let's get rid of it, and it's gone. When we're looking at the map changes and, all of those weird anomalies in this ME effect, really, guys, it's just saying so much to us. Oh, I love synchronicities and meditation now. I absolutely love synchronicities. Imagine if the things we saw when we were kids weren't dismissed and we're told we're experiencing something great instead of squashing it as in the head or imaginary. Yes. Yes. Very true. And that has a lot to do with it. When we are little children, we think we could do anything, where we see ourselves as limitless. it's the world as time goes on that kind of gets squashed out of you. I'm going to start doing an exercise for mothers. Being one myself, when you're mothering your children, we tend to lose sight of our happiness and our individuality and what makes us happy. So I will be putting out some exercises for self-help in trying to find ourselves and find our heart's passion. We can still raise our children, but we can also be happy and have our heart filled with the joys in life that life has to offer us. Motherhood should not take away your sovereignty, your creativity, your individualism, your beautiful divine self. So look forward to that. I will be coming up with some exercises. And if there's one thing that I always try to do here is lead you back to yourself. Everything that you need to know, you can find in meditation, and then maybe you come on here and you hear me talking about it, and it's a synchronicity, like a confirmation of what you're already getting in your quiet space. And I know that was very beneficial to me when I came across other people that would be saying the same things that was already being, like, some call it downloaded. I call it being stirred up into remembrance, or reconnecting back. So, that's what I'm here for. And I love interviewing you guys. And as this channel grows, I want to get to know each and every one of you. Channel size doesn't matter. All I want to hear is your testimony. And if you're willing to share it with other people, oh my gosh, I thoroughly enjoy listening to other people and what they have to share. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but at the end of my videos, I talk about, share what you know and listen so you can grow. You get a lot from sometimes just sitting quietly and listening to other people. We don't always have to lead the conversation. A lot of times just sitting there listening, you can receive synchronicities, you can receive confirmations, you can also broaden your perspective and expand, and it's a beautiful thing, guys. It's a beautiful thing. Lee, good morning. Good morning. Wow. One went to sleep and then the other wakes up. Nice. So it's been about an hour, guys, and I don't like to keep you guys tied up. If you guys have any final questions, please type them in now, and I will let you go for the evening. But I wanted to elaborate more on the video Narrow Path. I still am doing devotionals for you guys, and interviews and spontaneous live. So make sure that you're hitting the notifications so you can get the reminders. Share the message everywhere. If this resonates with you and you think it could help other people, bring them on in. I would love to get to know them. Come into the flame. Please, moderators, please drop the link to the flame in the chat if you wouldn't mind. It's a wonderful group of people there, of all diverse cultures, backgrounds, religious backgrounds, countries, origin. And we come together there so we can share what we know and listen so we can grow. And it's a beautiful place. It's an absolute beautiful place. I don't know if Najai's in the room, if you can drop that link. Or sup, or, well, Glowing's in there. And Lee, you can drop it. Can you drop it? Let me see if I can get out in the first. Let me see. I can grab it for you guys. Bear with me just a minute. Okay, there you guys go. So please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, share what you know, listen so you can grow. Peace. I'll talk to you soon.